Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Julian from synthwavepro.com. Before we get started, let's go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification button so that you don't miss out on any more synthwave tutorials. With that said, let's explore reverb, putting our drums in a space, and see what we can do to manipulate that decay time, okay? That decay reverb time. So let's play our song in context and we can dive in deeper. Alright, so a funky synthwave song here, but I want to draw your attention to the return channel here, and this is where I have a Valhalla plate instantiated. As you can see, the mix is set to 100%, obviously. The decay time is set to 1.4 seconds, and the pre-delay is set to 101.9 milliseconds. This is just to allow a gap between the dry hit and the reverb signal. We want a little bit of a gap so that when the snare hits, we don't overlap with the reverb sound. Now the question is, how long should the reverb decay time be? Sometimes we get these new great plugins and we want to showcase our new reverb and we tend to go a little crazy. There's a consequence to that, and it will invariably muddy up our mix. As a general rule of thumb, when you're setting up the decay times to your reverb, if we take a look at our snare hits here, we have snare hit on 2 and on 4. Try to make sure that the decay ends by the time you get to beat 3, beat 1, 3, beat 1, beat 3. Okay, so your snare is going to come in. By the time the following beat comes in, you want that decay or reverb to be rather quiet. Okay, so let's play our drum bus here in context, and we can see what's going on with our decay time here. So you can see the decay time really starts around here and it slowly fizzles away by the time we get to this area here, okay? Shorter, just as good, but listen to the snare hit once we start increasing that decay time. Way too long. You'll notice that the subsequent snare hits gets lost in the mix. There is, however, a time when I think it's appropriate to use a long decay time, and this would be in conjunction with a utility plugin, which I've done here. So I'm going to leave the decay at 2.2, which again is fairly long. It's actually too long, but let's go ahead and instantiate the utility. Take a look at the gain parameter here, and you can see that I have a bunch of automation here. So what's going on here is that the decay time, rather, or the reverb, is being cut out, then it's being heard as the snare is being struck. By the time we get to beat 3, I completely gate it out, so it gets very quiet, and then I reopen it again on beat 4, and so forth. You'll notice that the envelope, or the volume envelope, varies, and I think this is a cool way to add some variety to the reverb channel. Gives it a bit of a groove. So let's go ahead and toggle and see what this is doing to the sound. All right, let's pay attention to the reverb channel exclusively. The utility is off now. Long decay, nothing exciting. All right, now so the volume automation that we've drawn here is giving our drum reverb room a bit of a sort of groove. You can see that we have a very hard gate here, followed by a gradual decay and another decay here. And on its own, it sounds rather jarring and slightly off-putting. So let's go ahead and listen to that one more time. All right, but it begins to make sense and it comes to life when we have our drum bus playing. Especially that hard gate. A whole new groove. It's just giving this rather simple drum pattern another sort of backbeat. Right? So on, off. On. Now let's play the song in context, and I'll toggle on and off the automation here, and we can hear what it's contributing to the song. Now, what's interesting is that the portion here where we have that hard gate, you really hear our rim shot hit here come through, right? Because we don't have the reverb trailing on for too long. Let me go ahead and loop this section, and we can hear how that's working out for our rim shot. And off. So now the rim shot pokes through a little more, okay? So let's go ahead and play the sequence here, and I'll toggle on and off the automation control here, and we can see what it's contributing to the mix. On. Off. All right, so this is a nice little trick that you can add into your production, and it also gives your listener a bit of ear candy, as every single hit will be slightly different. They may not pick up on it, but they might actually feel it, that it's creating, you know, an underlying groove. Do this whenever you're using these long decays and you don't want your mix to be rather muddy. I know that you can just forget about automating all of this stuff and just keep the decay rather short, as we've done in our first example. That's absolutely fine. But again, adding these changes, it really does elevate your production. Okay, guys, that's it for this tutorial. If you found this useful, go ahead and give me a like. And with that said, stay safe, and I will see you next time.